Chapter 16. 2.4K 3410. Ryder embraced his dad in a hug. "Hey Dad, I missed you." "Me too, kiddo," Justin replied. They released each other. Justin rubbed his hands together as something to keep his hands busy. "So, what was this about some thieves?" "Oh, yeah. These guys right here," Ryder said. He pointed to the 4 people that were now sitting on a bench. Mayor Goodway was right next to the bench, tapping her foot on the floor. "You're Mayor Goodway, right?" Justin asked. "Yep, that's me," Mayor Goodway replied. "Nice to meet you, Mayor. I am Ryder's dad, Chief Justin," he stated. He looked back at his son. "So what exactly happened here?" "So, it started a couple of days ago," Ryder started. Ryder explained the original mission, and then the alarm. He stated how Chase went in after the thieves, caught Jack in the museum, but the others got away. He told his dad how Chase went after them, got lost, and found his way back just in time to stop them. The entire time, his dad was just nodding, showing that was listening and understanding. He looked down at Chase. "Well, I'm glad to hear that you are okay, and I'm impressed by how well you faced the problem." "Thank you, Justin, sir," Chase said. Justin was shocked by the statement. "Sir? Polite, brave, and strong. Why, you're just like your parents and brothers. They used to call me sir all the time." He smiled, but his smile soon faded after noticing how Chase was uncomfortable. "Oh, I'm sorry, Chase. I didn't mean to have that taken the wrong way. I am sorry if I caused any pain." Chase exhaled deeply. It's okay, sir, I'm okay." It stayed quiet for a minute. So what about the thieves?" Justin asked. "Right," Ryder said, ready to change the subject. "These are the 4 thieves. Their names are John, Cash, Leo, and Cassie." Ryder pointed at each one as he said their names. "Well, then. Justin got interrupted by one of the other police officers. The police officer held a tablet in his hands. "Sir, you need to look at this," he told the chief as he showed him the screen. Leo gulped in the background. After a minute of the 2 talking, Justin said, "Well, we got some new information. These 4 are the thieves that have been hitting multiple banks, museums, even gas stations. We have been searching for them for months." "Thank you, Paw Patrol. Now, all we need is their buyer. We know they have a client, but we don't know who." "I might be able to help you with that," Chase said. The chief tilted his head. "How so?" "Our friends here, of course," Chase explained. "Their client was supposed to meet them up at the cabins this morning." "Then we should go over there right now." "Not so easy, it's a 2-hour trip. But what I was thinking is having one of them contact the client and have them come by the town hall. And stop them right here." "That's genius," Justin said. "We got it from here. Thank you, Paw Patrol. And thank you, Chase. I have no doubt your father would be proud of you." Chase slightly blushed. "Thank you, sir." Chase and Ryder got onto their vehicles. Ryder promised to go visit his parents soon and they headed off to the lookout. When they got there, the other pups were playing with a soccer ball, passing it from one to the other. When Chase and Ryder pulled up, they stopped playing and smiled. "Why don't you go play with..." "What?" Continue to next part. Add. Vote. I'm not. Why don't you go play with them for a little while? Ryder insisted. You don't need my help with anything, Ryder, sir? Chase asked. Not at the moment, but I promise you'll be the first to know if I do. Okay, Ryder. Chase drove off to park the bulldozer, leaving Ryder complimenting what good pups they were. Chase parked the bulldozer in its designated spot and hopped out of the vehicle. Well, she's all yours, Rubble. Thanks, Chase, Rubble said. By the way, I could have slept all day if Sky wouldn't have woken me up. Sky blushed, but no one noticed. Yeah, but why didn't you wake us up like usual, Chase? All the pups' attention was now on Chase. Yeah, dude. What's up? Zuma asked. Well, we did stay up late last night. I figured that you guys should get some extra sleep. If you guys were needed, I would have woken you up, but nothing happened. I left with Ryder to hand over the thieves to Chief Justin. Ryder's dad? Rocky asked. How did that go? Chase explained what had occurred, leaving out the part about his parents. None of them knew what happened to them except for Chase, Marshall, and Ryder. He wanted to keep it that way for as long as possible. He would tell them eventually, but now was not the time. Wow, that's crazy how you were able to stop them, Sky said. Chase corrected. If it wasn't for you guys, I might have still been lost and they could have gotten away. It was a team effort. But anyway, you guys want to play another game? At that exact moment, Marshall's pup tag lit up. Welp, sorry, not me. I have to go meet up with Everest. He ran off to his fire truck. 1. Rocky raised an eyebrow. Why do you have to meet up with Everest? He asked. Marshall stopped in his tracks and turned around. Oh, I need to help her with something at her cabin. I think something got stuck in a tree or on top of the cabin, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, see you later, Marshall lied. He jumped into his fire truck and drove off. This left all the pups confused, except for Chase. Chase knew about Marshall's crush on Everest, so he figured something had happened between them while he was gone. 1. Okay, Chase said. But what should we play? Tag? Rubble suggested. Sure, the pups said in unison. Okay, but who will be it? Asked Zuma. I can be it, Chase suggested. Okay, but since you're the fastest pup, you have to give us a head start. I'm fine with that. He started counting from 10. The other pups sprinted off, hoping not to get caught. 3, 2. Chase got in a running position. Feels good for things to go back to normal. He ran after the pups. The sun had started to set and everyone was getting ready for bed. Marshall had returned an hour later. He said that he was tired, so he entered his fire truck and fell asleep. The others came soon after. They all entered their pup houses and fell asleep. Everyone except Chase had fallen asleep. Chase wasn't tired enough yet to fall asleep. So instead of uselessly trying, he got up and walked out of his pup house. He walked over to his favorite thinking spot, a cliff that overlooks the bay and the town. Some lights were on, giving the town a faint glow. The sky was clear and there were no clouds in sight. The ocean was calm and reflected all the stars and the moonlight. The moon itself was only a half moon, and it was low on the horizon, so it left a silver streak on the ocean's surface. The slight breeze brought with it the scent of the sea. The waves crashed against the beach nearby. Chase sat down and closed his eyes, his mind racing like a Formula One race car. He thought about what Justin said. "I have no doubt that your father would be proud of you," he had said. Chase was unsure on whether or not he fully believed it, too. It had been years since he had last seen his father, but the memories of him and his family lived in Chase's mind rent-free. He wondered, if things would have turned out differently, what would be of me? His mind left that doubt behind. Chase has always been taught, there is always a way, but don't let doubt blind you from finding it. His mind went from Justin's words to finding ways to improve, and later about memories he had of him with Sky. Chase was lost in his mind, but he was not the only one awake. Sky laid in her bed with her eyes open. She couldn't find out why she was still awake if she felt tired. She wondered if it was for having Chase back. He was sleeping just a few meters away, or so she thought, yet Sky wanted him right next to her. She felt as if she didn't stay close enough to him, he may disappear. Finally, her mind got the best of her and she got up. She looked down and she still had Chase's hat. She put it on and walked out the door. She planned on sitting down in Chase's thinking spot, but it was occupied. She could only see the silhouette of someone, but she knew that it was Chase. What is he doing up so late? She thought to herself. If anyone should be tired, it should be him. She walked over to him. She planned on doing it quietly, but she stepped on a twig, snapping it in half. Chase heard the snap and turned his head enough to see who it was. "Oh, it's just you, Sky," he said, smiling. She smiled back, "Yep, just me." "What are you doing up so late?" he asked. "I thought everyone except me was asleep." "I did too," she said as she approached the German Shepherd. She sat down right next to him. "If anyone should sleep, it should be you, Chase. You should be more tired than any of us." Chase looked out into the horizon. "I know, but I can't. I just have too many thoughts, and sitting here alone always helps me clear my mind." "Would you like me to leave?" she asked. "No," he replied. "I'm glad you're here." 2. "Why is that, Chase?" "Well, I have someone to talk to," he said. "Usually I'm alone out here and I'm fine with it. But every once in a while, I feel lonely out here." "But why did you come out here?" "Just to clear my head as well." "Are you okay?" Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that, well, Chase, we almost lost you." "How can you be perfectly fine with that? The rest of us were really worried about you." "I was really worried about you. But now that you're back, I don't know, maybe I should try to get some sleep," Sky said. She got up and started to walk away. "Sky, wait," Chase called out, but Sky kept walking. Chase's mind and heart were fighting now. His mind told him to leave her be, but at the same time, his heart told him to follow her. Chase didn't know what to do. He just sat there, watching the ocean, and the love of his life walked away from him. Chase closed his eyes and muttered as he sometimes did when he was alone, "Father, please help me. I feel alone." The last time he saw his dad, he had told Chase that he will always be there for Chase. Chase opened his eyes and looked up. He noticed a single leaf on a branch that stuck out away from the others. He watched as the leaf broke off the branch and started falling. He watched it for a second until he closed his eyes. 1. When he opened them again, he was no longer at the edge of the cliff. He was back at the lake. He remembered everything so vividly. The only difference was that there were no animals, despite the fact that it was noon. From that alone, Chase knew that he wasn't actually there. His body was still at the cliff, but his mind wasn't. His only thought was that he had to get back to Sky before he lost her. Chase, a familiar male voice said from behind him. Chase turned around and he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Walking towards him were 4 canines. From afar, they were barely visible, like phantoms or reflections from tempered glass. But as they got closer, they solidified to 4 adult German shepherds. The biggest one, a male, walked closer than the others. Chase? Is that really you? Chase couldn't move. He tried to say an entire sentence, but only one word escaped his quivering lips, Dad? Chase couldn't believe what he was seeing. In front of him stood his family. His father, Max, looked precisely like Chase, only older and more mature. His mother, Sonia, was a German shepherd as well, but she had white fur and gray eyes, like the calm before and after a storm. Chase got all his physical traits from his dad, but his brothers got from both of them. His 2 older brothers were named Armor and Swift. Armor was bigger and stronger than Swift. He had stormy gray eyes and his snout held a light gray color. His body was black, but his underbelly and paws were brown. Swift was different from Armor in almost every aspect. Swift was not as strong, but he was faster. He resembled Chase, but his left ear and left eye were white. His tail was split perfectly in the middle, the right side being white and the left side being a hazel brown color. His eyes were dark brown. Chase, his dad asked as he walked up to the young pup. Is that really you? Dad? Chase asked. His eyes fluttered from one of them to the other. Yes, Chase, it's me. Chase ran over to his dad and wrapped his hands around his waist. Chase hugged his dad and realized that it was, in fact, his dad. He had the same texture, a short layer of fur. He had the same smell and Chase felt the same feeling, a feeling of comfort and protection when he was around his dad. He looked up at Max's face. But how? I thought you guys were. We are, Chase, Max replied. Wait, does that mean I'm dead? Oh, no, sweetheart, his mom said. She came in closer and held him in her arms. You are still alive. She stroked the back of his head with her paw. Then how come I can see you guys? And how come we are here? Chase asked, waving his arm at the lake. He had so many questions. He narrowed the questions down to a single one. How is this even possible? Chase, I am not sure about the lake. It must be a memory of yours. His dad said, looking out at the lake. And that's what we are. We're just in your mind and heart. You're still at the cliff. But that doesn't mean we aren't there for you. Armor said, stepping up. We will always be there for you. And that will never change as long as you have us in your heart, Swift added. They were now surrounding Chase. Chase thought about this. I wish you guys were here. I wish you guys were alive. I know Chase, but no one could have prevented the explosion. Chase knew that it was true. Years ago, Chase lived with his family, Marshall's family, and Ryder's family. His entire family had been part of the police force. His dad and mom used to be Marines, that's how they met. Chase was too young to join, but he was always for the day he could join his family. One day, all 4 of them, as well as Ryder's dad, had been called for a mission. Justin was their chief, just how Ryder was to the Paw Patrol. There was a crossfire between a group of terrorists and the police. The terrorists had been killed or captured, so they went to check up on the terrorists' base for information. Little did they know that the terrorist intended that to happen. Once the police had entered the building, the entire building exploded. Justin was not yet at the doorway, so he was just launched backward onto the grass with little injuries, but Chase's family was inside when the building exploded. After the explosion, the building collapsed into itself, killing everyone inside. His family was named a family of heroes. That day, Chase has vowed to avenge his family, not by going after the terrorists who caused their deaths, but by never giving up and always trying his best. K37-8. Yeah, but still, I need you guys. I can't do this alone, Chase cried. Tears ran down his cheeks. Sonia smiled and used her paw to clean the tears off his cheeks. Chase, you and your character traits. Chase looked up at his mom in confusion. My character what? Your character traits, Max explained. The traits that make you who you are. Your traits, Chase, consist in bravery, strength, and many others. But two of the traits are guilt and loyalty. Whenever something goes wrong, especially when it's to someone close to you, you blame yourself. You would rather believe that it was your fault than accept that it was an accident. And your loyalty to your friends will cause you to take the blame for something they did, no matter what it was. I know, Chase admitted silently. He had his head down in embarrassment. His brother noticed this. Hey, that's nothing to be embarrassed about, Swift said. You're strong and brave, but you also have a huge heart, and that makes you stronger. You never give up, and you always try your best. You're the best of us all, Chase, his father said. You're better than all of us, and like your brother said, that's nothing to be embarrassed about. Accept that with pride. And we know that Sky will see that in you too, Armor added. This statement caught Chase off guard. Wait, you guys know about that? Armor scoffed. Chase, we're always watching over you. We've noticed how you act around her. You have feelings for her, don't you? Chase took a deep breath. She's the love of my life. I can't imagine a life without her. Chase has a crush, Swift teased in a singing voice. Armor punched him in the arm to quit it out. Hey, I'm helping him out. He lowered his head to get on Chase's eye level. Look, Chase, you're the bravest pup I know. I do not doubt that Sky feels the same way. How can you be so sure? Chase asked. As soon as he asked that question, images started appearing in front of Chase. All of the images had been of him and Chase. Some of them, Chase had remembered, some of them that were new to Chase. Chase saw him and Sky playing tag, tapping each other on the nose. Images of how they played ball together, Pup Boogie, a mirror game. Images in the elevator, where Sky landed on top of Chase, Chase landed with his head on top of hers, and just many of them landing on one another. The image where Chase and Sky were singing the Friendship Day song and Sky nuzzled him in the chest appeared. And to end it, Chase's favorite image appeared. It was an image of both of them, sitting at his thinking spot that overlooked the bay and the town. It was nighttime, and the moon was full and large over the horizon. The moon left a silver streak on the still waters. Thousands of stars dotted the sky like someone had thrown glitter into the air. Sky was leaning her head on Chase's shoulder, and Chase had his head over hers as Sky slowly drifted away to sleep. After seeing all those images, Chase's eyes were so watery, he had to blink to be able to see clearly. Swift looked at his little brother. "That's how I'm sure," he replied. "It's time to go back, Chase," Max said. "No, it's too soon," Chase pleaded. "I need to stay a little while longer. You can't leave me already." Sonia pulled her son into a hug. Chase damped her fur with tears as he cried. "Not yet, please. I need more time." "I know it's hard, Chase," she said, forcing herself not to cry as well. "But we never left. We have always been there for you." The others joined in on the hug with Chase in the middle. Chase had always held in his emotions, all of his feelings, and kept them to himself. But in the middle of his family, he finally let all those feelings out. He felt as if he didn't need to be strong around his family. One by one, the feelings left his body. All of the anger, sadness, guilt, grief, and hatred drained out of his body. He felt as if the weight of the sky had lifted off of his shoulders. He felt free and secure. The only emotions he had left were purely positive feelings. He kept crying, but these tears were now of joy and happiness. After a minute, he had stopped crying and held his family. They separated from him. When they separated, he collapsed, but as fast as it happened, he got back up. "I'm ready." He hugged his brother Armor. "Stay strong, Chase." He lastly hugged his brother Swift, the brother he had felt more connected to when he was alive. "Don't forget, Chase," Swift told him. "You hold the best of all of us. There is always a way. Don't let doubt, or anything for that matter, blind you from finding it." He hugged his dad one last time. "I love you, son," Max said. Chase hugged Sonia. She squeezed him a bit and whispered, "My strong boy. We will always be there when you need us." Chase let go. He took a deep breath. "Well, I guess this is goodbye for now. Who knows how I have been sitting at the cliff. It might already be morning." Swift smiled. "You'll be surprised. Close your eyes, Chase." Chase was confused by what Swift said, but he obeyed. He closed his eyes. As he had his eyes closed, he still heard their fading voices telling him, "I love you, my strong boy, stay strong, and there is always a way." He opened his eyes and noticed a leaf falling from a tree in front of him. It took a moment for Chase to realize that it was the same leaf that he saw before he closed his eyes the first time. For him, an hour had passed, but in reality, it was only a second. He didn't understand, but he could care less. He immediately got up and turned around to notice Sky turned around. He knew what his vision meant. He started going after her, but stopped and turned around to look at the moon. Now he understood everything. He understood why he always felt free when he was on that spot. It had nothing to do with the location itself, but with Chase. He let his guard down and his family comforted him. He had never truly believed in ghosts, but after that experience, he believed in the spirits of his loved ones who were always there for him. He thought it was just the atmosphere around him that comforted him, but he understood now that it was his family all along. After that experience, he felt stronger and wiser. He knew what he had to do. "Thank you," he said. The wind bristled his fur and Chase smiled. He turned around and ran to catch up with the cockapoo. Sky, wait. Continue to next part. Chapter 18, Final. 3. Hayes ran after Sky. Chase ran after Sky. Chase ran after Sky. Sky, wait, he called. He grabbed her by the wrist to prevent her from leaving. Sky, please, stay here. Sky turned around. She looked into Chase's amber eyes. Why do you want me here? Sky asked. Why would you want me to stay? Because I. Chase stuttered. Sky stayed quiet but still stared at him, waiting for an answer. I don't want to be alone, Chase finally said. Sky was a bit sad about this answer, but she agreed to stay. As they walked back to the cliff, Chase regretted backing out at the last second. He mentally palmed his forehead. He knew he had to tell her his feelings tonight. It was his last chance. Not yet, he chided himself. All you were able to do right now was have her stay. The night is still young. You will get your chance. They sat down in silence overlooking the bay. They wanted to talk to each other, but they didn't know what to say. At last, Sky was the one to break the silence. Sorry, she said. Sorry? Chase asked. What for? For trying to leave. I know you don't want to be alone, but I guess my feelings got in the way and I felt like I had to leave. And you feel like you have to apologize? Sky, there is no need to apologize. Your feelings are a part of you. You can't change who you are. I know, Chase, but here's the thing, I thought I lost you, Chase. Ever since that night that you saved me, you have taken care of me, looked after me, and been an awesome friend. The thought of losing you was too hard for me to handle. And now, having you here by my side. I don't know what, Chase, but I still feel like you might disappear, and this time you won't come back. A tear rolled down her cheek. Chase noticed this and felt like his heart was about to shatter. He put on a warm smile and used his paw to wipe her tears away. Sky, come here, he said. Sky moved in closer to Chase. Look, Sky, I'm not going anywhere. I am going to stay right here for as long as you need. And I promise that it is not going to change anytime soon. I am here for you, Sky. Always have been and always will be. Chase put his arm around Sky and Sky held onto his paw. She felt that if she were to let go, he would leave. She sniffled. Thanks, Chase, that's why I love you, she said. Chase was caught off guard by this. Did she say she loves me? You what? Sky realized, too little too late, what had come out of her mouth. At the moment, she didn't think about it, it had just escaped her mouth. She let go of Chase's paw. Well, Chase, I kinda do, she confessed. But how can I not? Chase, you're the greatest pup I have ever met. You're brave, strong, handsome, and smart. Everything I ever looked for in a pup. You don't fear anything and you face everything to save others. I have seen you do things that others wouldn't even dare to do, and you did them with ease. Chase, you're amazing. She looked at him with a frown, but what met with a warm smile. It was the same smile she had fallen in love with. The smile told her that everything was going to be okay. Sky, I can't believe you love me, Chase said. Oh, I'm sorry, she said, getting up to leave once again. I didn't mean to. No, Sky, you have it all wrong, Chase interrupted. He got in front of her so she couldn't leave. I wasn't turning you down. I was going to tell you that I felt the same way. I have felt this way ever since I first laid eyes on you. I didn't know it then, but I do now. Sky, I love you. Why would you love me? I am the smallest of the pups. I'm scared of a dumb bird. I am the complete opposite of you. I am not perfect, Chase, and you deserve the best. Chapter 18, Final. 3.7K51-6. Hayes frowned after hearing this. He felt that it was his fault that she felt this way. He needed to find a way to make it up for her. He came up with an idea. Something that his mother once told him. Sky, look over there, he said softly as he looked forward. Sky in the same direction. Tell me, what do you see? Sky looked out to see the view. The town, the ocean, The ocean, Chase repeated. You know, Sky, the ocean has many things in it. Some good, some bad. It is always changing, but at the same time, Sky, it stays the same. Me, personally, I don't look at the bad things. Nor do I care. What I see is its beauty. I notice how it affects everything around it in a positive way. Why are you telling me this? Sky asked. Because that's how I see you, Sky, Chase replied. You have changed a lot since I first met, yet, you are still the same energetic pup I feel in love with. You say you are not perfect, but you are. If anyone is not perfect, it's me. You, Sky, on the other hand, are as perfect as they get. You are courageous, smart, strong, and extremely beautiful. I cannot imagine a stronger nor a more beautiful pup. You're wrong, Sky, you are not the opposite of me. You're better than me. That's why I love you, Sky. You're the reason why I push so hard every day. You're the reason why I try my hardest. Because you bring out the best in me, and I can't imagine myself without you. And I'd do anything in my power to see you just smile, guess the reference. That is the only warmth I need. Two. Chase was staring right into Sky's magenta eyes. They couldn't say a word because they were too focused on processing what the other one had said. Their noses were only millimeters apart. Finally, Sky couldn't wait any longer. She leaned over and pressed her lips against Chase's. Chase's eyes opened wide but eventually closed as he also pushed into the kiss. As their lips connected, their hearts were beating faster and faster. They were kissing their crushes. Fireworks were going off in their minds. After a minute, they separated. Wow, Chase said. That was unexpected, Sky said. She looked up at Chase and smiled. He nodded and smiled back. But I'm glad it happened. Me too, Chase, Sky said as she leaned over for another kiss. After the kiss, they walked over to the cliff and sat down. Sky was snuggled into Chase's side, the same she had been the first time she had ever met him. She rested her head on Chase's paw, and he rested his head over her head. The only sound they could hear was the crashing of the ocean and the chirping of insects. Chase kissed Sky in the forehead. Well, someone said from behind. I knew they were going to get together. They turned their heads and smiled. Hey, Marshall. Hey, Everest, Chase said. What are you doing here? We heard some talking out here, and we wanted to see what was going on, Everest said. Oh, but where's your pup house? Sky asked. Up in Jake's cabin, Everest replied. But how did you? I'm sleeping in Marshall's pup house. She kissed Marshall on the cheek. Isn't that right, Marshall? Yep, Marshall replied, returning the favor. So he's the pup you had feelings for? Of course, who else could it be? Well, don't just stand there, Chase told them both. Sit down, relax, and enjoy the peacefulness. Marshall and Everest sat down. They talked about recent missions and Chase restated what had happened in the woods. He explained how he wanted to go visit the lake again, and they all agreed to go visit it the following week. After an hour, both Marshall and Everest had fallen asleep. Chase and Sky were already dozing off as well. Chase kissed Sky one last time on the lips. Good night, Sky, I love you. Good night, Chase, Sky said. She nuzzled him one more time. I love you, too. Sky drifted off to sleep. My brave Chase, she said before falling asleep. Chase looked at Sky. What she said reminded him of what his mother said. My brave pup, she had told him. Chase smiled and closed his eyes. Not only did he start a new chapter in his life, but he was able to see his family one last time. Chase fell asleep, knowing that no matter where he was, his family, both his blood family and his Paw Patrol family, will always be there for him. Emma keep working hard for them, he told himself, for my dad, for my mom, for my brothers, for my team, for Ryder, for Sky. I will not give up on them. Not today, no ever.
Hey guys, it's me, Super Trader speaking. Hopefully I sign up for the stream. I'm gonna do I'm I'm gonna now look for a new story to do on my channel. Then send by if you I'm gonna post new updates as soon as possible if I have a new story. Or if you have a story for me, you can send it me on my YouTube channel, on the community, or somewhere else on my YouTube channel, and I will go get it and maybe do it if I have time. But or yes, yeah, and by the way, yeah, ended the entire story. This was the end of the story of Pop Saves Chase. Story by the ThreadyRumble.